guys, welcome back to my channel and to part 2 of Black-owned makeup brands. If you missed last week's video, I will go ahead and link it down below where I did a tutorial using products from Colored Rain. This week we are going to use a couple of palettes by Juvia's Place. This is a brand that has been on my radar for a couple of years, definitely, and I actually did own a few of their palettes a few years back. I was gifted probably like 3 or 4 of their palettes by a friend. And I just at that time was just drowning in a sea of excess makeup, which, I mean, when am I not? But I never ended up using them, and I ended up re-gifting them to somebody else. So I've actually never used any products from this brand. Now, there have always been 2 specific palettes that I always wanted to try, and I went ahead and picked them up. I got the Tribe, and then I also got the Warrior 2. Now, most of you are probably familiar with these palettes already. They're not new at all. The Tribe has that pretty ugly color story that I love so much. It's pretty heavy on the greens and then the warm kind of brown tones. There's also a couple pops of blue in there as well. And then the Warrior 2, this one is all matte. This has both warm tones and cool tones, and it's got a pretty good range of like light to dark shades. So again, I think it'll pair really well with this one. So let's go ahead and jump right into this look. I want to start with this green shade up here called Tootsie or Tootsie. I'm gonna butcher all of the names of these shades in here, so sorry guys. But this one is a matte. It looks kind of like a bright grass green in the palette. I'm gonna start by placing that in the crease. This is gonna be my crease and transition shade. I do want to build up some browns into this look too, but since this palette really is kind of heavy on the green, I wanted to incorporate that right off the bat. And so far, pigmentation seems pretty good. It doesn't seem like it's choppy or anything like that. I'm thinking that I want to do almost like a halo smoky eye or like a spotlight smoky eye today. Did you see that fly? So we definitely have a friend with us today. I accidentally let him in the back door this morning when I answered the door to the sheriff who showed up at my house. He was here looking for the guy that lived here before I did. And this dude apparently is not paying his child support. So that happened this morning. And so if you see a fly buzzing around my head or in front of my face, you know, that's the reason for that. And the place where I'm living now, it's actually really buggy just in general. It seems to be very spidery. There's like a fuck ton of these giant brown beetles that if you have the light on outside at night, they just dive bomb the house nonstop. There's like hundreds of them. I was sitting on the toilet the other night and I felt something on my arm and I looked and it was one of those giant ass beetles just hanging out of my arm. And he didn't survive for longer than like a second because I smashed him right on the bathroom floor. There was a snake outside my back door a few weeks ago, which I was totally fine with that. And snakes don't bother me at all. I'm just not a fan of anything that flies and dive bombs at my head. I definitely don't like anything with legs. All the spiders can just fuck right off. I went and I bought some of that barrier spray for around my house. And they say that spiders get rid of all of the bad bugs like mosquitoes and stuff, but I haven't been bitten by a mosquito since I was in like middle school, so. But I figured that snake can take care of all the shit that I don't want to deal with, so hopefully he's out there doing his job. Now, I really like this green a lot. That's a really good color. I actually, with all the greens that I have in my collection, I don't have anything like this one, so I'm already glad that I picked this palette up just for this color. And I smell so fucking good right now because the UPS man just showed up and delivered a package from Sephora, and I bought the big tub of the Bum Bum Cream. If you guys have ever smelled that, then you'll know how amazing that stuff is. When I was on the Sephora website and I was throwing shit into my cart, I think that I ended up putting all of that brand's products with that scent into my cart. And then when I saw the total with all of that shit in there, I'm like, all right, we need to edit this down. So I ended up taking all of the other Bum Bum Cream stuff out of my cart, and then I only got the body cream itself. So, okay, so now I'm gonna go into Kufuru from the Warrior 2 palette. This is kind of like a rich chocolatey brown, and I am going to start to build up the outer and inner corners with this shade. That way we can kind of start to get that spotlight or that halo shape going there. And that is a really pretty brown. There is a brown in the Tribe palette that I might go in there with and kind of marry these two colors together. But I wanted to go in with this one first because I want to say it was Kat from Beauty News on her own channel when she was doing some looks with this palette. And I want to say that when she was using that brown shade that she said that everything just kind of looked green, that one didn't really read as brown. I could be totally wrong. It could have been somebody else that said that, but I think it was her. And I want to say that was around the time that the Safari Rain palette came out from Colored Rain, and I watched her video for that one too. And so I just ended up going for the Safari Rain palette because I think she liked that one a little bit more. So I just never ended up picking this one up. But again, that green alone is worth the price of admission for that palette, so. Let me check and see what the fallout situation is here. The fallout doesn't look too bad, actually. Again, we've got powder underneath the eye, so that's gonna catch any of that anyway, but the fallout doesn't seem to be that bad. But, you know, the colors seem to be really pigmented and they're blending out really good, so. And go ahead and deepen up those inner corners as well. I haven't done like a halo smoky eye or a spotlight eye in a long time. I was doing those for a while there, and then I just kind of went back to my regular kind of eyeshadow placement. But I really like this kind of eyeshadow application, especially on a deep set eye like mine, because then you can put that color on the center there to kind of pop everything out, and your eyes don't look like they're sitting all the way in the back of your skull, you know? I'm telling you what, the pigmentation and the blendability, this is all working out pretty well today, so. Then using a pencil brush so that I can get really nice and tight on that inner corner. Now, when I was on their website, I was really considering trying their foundation and concealer, but then I was like, I already have so many foundations that need to be used before they go bad, so let's just kind of cool it there. I have 6 bottles of the Next to Nothing just sitting in my skincare fridge not being used, so I need to get on that. Although right now at this point, since you have to wear a mask everywhere anyway, I'm using less foundation because I'm only painting most days from here up. And then the last week or so, I just haven't been wearing any makeup at all to work. I've only been wearing makeup at home when I'm doing like, you know, pictures and videos and that kind of stuff. So it's finally summertime, it's hot, I'm sweaty, and I feel like it just ends up being less for me to do at the end of the day as far as skincare goes. If I don't have to remove my makeup and all that, it's like super quick and easy. Okay, and then because I'm curious about this brown in the Tribe palette, this is called Ashanti. I am going to take that and I'm just gonna kind of marry the two colors that I have on my lids already. I'm gonna hit along the very edge of that brown. And since I'm using it to blend those two colors together, I don't think that we're gonna get a real read on what this actually looks like. But I really want the vibrancy of that first green that I used to show, so I don't wanna blend this color so far into that green that I end up covering it up, you know what I mean? Okay, so now we've got this shade in the center here called Chaga, and this is like a shimmery brown. Oh, it definitely has a lot of gold to it. It has more gold to it than I thought. I guess it's kind of gold, it's kind of green, it's kind of brown. It almost has like a red to it as well. It's almost kind of multi-chrome in a way. So I'm gonna take that and I am going to press that into the center of the lid here. And I was going to use this one and then go over top of the center of it with this kind of brighter shade here, but I don't know. I kind of like this color on its own, so I might leave it right here. Oh, it's crazy. This ended up being like a lot quicker and a lot easier of a look than I thought it was gonna be, because these shadows were just super easy to work with. Those mattes blended out really quickly and really easily. But this is definitely a good formula, and I can totally see myself back on their website maybe today, right after I'm done filming this video, because there were definitely a few other palettes that I've been interested in. But again, when you don't know a brand's formula, you don't want to go in all crazy and buy like 3 or 4 different palettes at the same time, because if you don't like the formula, then you're just stuck with all this shit that you don't want. So no, I definitely want it. I definitely like it. And then I'm gonna take that same shade and I am going to pop it in the center of the lower lash line so we can have that brightness on the top and the bottom. And then just kind of blend out the very edges of that shade here so that it doesn't look harsh. And so for the inner corners, I'm gonna use this shade here called Masai. Maybe that's what it's called. I'm just gonna take that on a pencil brush and I am going to just jam it right there in the center. This one doesn't really read too differently from the way that that first green blended out. I still like it. I just think that they're very, very similar in tone there. And then on the waterline, I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in Whiskey. I like this one because it's a mid to deep brown, but it has a lot of warmth to it. So I think this will make sense with the eyeshadow colors we have on today. Okay, so I just need some mascara, some hair, a couple other finishing touches really quick, and I'll be right back with the final look. And that is the final look using eyeshadows from Juvia's Place. I actually went in and used this shade called Coro to use as a highlight. I did my cheekbones, I did a little bit on my forehead, the tip of the nose, and that is just kind of like that nice shifty green color. That one is really cool. And then on the lips, I used a lip gloss from JD Glow Cosmetics. This is in the shade So What, which actually there is a JD Glow Cosmetics video coming up soon. I had bought some stuff. It's already here, and then I went in and placed another order. So I'm still waiting for that to come, and we will go ahead and film that one as well. And then I still have a few other brands sitting here that I'm gonna be trying over the next few weeks. But again, if there are any other Black-owned makeup brands that you guys want me to try out on my channel, go ahead and list those in the comments down below, and I will check into those. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.